Howdy, hello, and welcome. Tom and Zort here, the Rogue Attraction. A little bit of a news stream before I head to the beach a little bit later, if weather permits. It's about to start raining. Florida, so I might push that stream back to 6. What's up, the Beam Pad? I see you here first. Okay, this better be good. I altered my plans for this. First, I'm sorry, the Beam Pad. I'm sorry. It's dismal. It is dismal Disney news. Coining, I guess that phrase is coined by, of course, Clownfish TV. But I kind of had to talk about some of this stuff because this is there's a lot of bad, today, and this is continuing a bad from D23, and it's kind of just going worse. So I kind of want to first bring up now. This is a Florida resident only ticket offering. But I kind of want to bring this up first because this shows desperation in my view. And Disney is hitting desperation, especially in the Orlando theme park, which seems odd because that was normally their breadwinner. And this is after them announcing a $60 billion expansion over 10 years, which I'm going to assume will be a bunch of hotels and a cruise ship and maybe 2 rides. I can't see. Okay, all right. So first, let me talk about this ticket offering. If you're a Florida resident and you don't have an annual pass and you want to go kind of during the holidays, this isn't bad. I'm gonna say it right now. This is not a bad ticket. It's desperate on Disney, and I don't know why they're only offering it to Florida residents and not any hotel guests. I would, if I was Disney, I'd be doing whatever I could to make revenue. But hey, it's just me. But as you can see, they dropped these tickets. Now, I looked it up. These are the $59 per day. That's like a 2004 ticket price, right? Like, I remember ticket prices for a day ticket being about $60 back then, around 2004, 2003. So the one thing I would say is if you're thinking about traveling to the parks, not a bad time if you're a Florida resident, because I know my annual pass is blocked out for about the week of Christmas because I wasn't paying double the price for a week or 2 weeks. I think that way. So even then, be able to go close to Christmas for about $200, still cheaper than the $800 more I'd have to pay on my annual pass. So I might actually think about this ticket as a Florida resident. And that might be the reasoning behind this ticket, is that there are a lot of like Pixie and Pirate Pass people still that are Florida residents that have the lower tier where they felt financially viable for them. And this ticket might appeal to some of those people that are blocked out for the holidays. I can't see this ticket being anything other than like a desperation move. And it's just bad. I mean, it's not bad for the consumer. I don't think the prices are that, like, I don't think it's a bad ticket price deal for Florida residents. I don't think it's a bad deal, but it's just bad for Disney. So I kind of wanted to start off with that and let people know that exists. If you're somewhere in the Florida area and feel like doing a 2, 3, or 4 day ticket. I'm wondering why they cop it at 4 days, but what's up, Smoking Thrills? Now Disney is the best way I can say it is Disney is in like Hail Mary desperation mode, at least in Disney World. Theme park casual can attest to Disneyland more than me, but it seems like Disneyland has a more steady revenue stream right now, and Disney World is like their capacity is a lot lower. I mean, they had a bear in their park yesterday. We all saw that, and it closed half the park for a good portion of the day. That's not good. What's up, Chris Ellis? Decided not to move to Florida. Insurance and tax on costs are too expensive, so no resident benefit for me. Yeah, trust me, I know. The insurance thing I get. I'm almost getting my insurance down to regular insurance rate prices. Of course, though, I chose to live on the coast on the water, so I'm going to take some of that blame myself. But we're getting there. Smoking Thrills, Universal is definitely definitely have their eyes set on Disney. The one thing Universal doesn't have that Disney does have is still land. That's the one thing that Universal doesn't have enough of. All right. So Disneyland also had tickets running for summer. I've never heard of discounted holiday seasons. I've never seen ticket deals. Even way back when like 2008, 2007, 2006, post 9/11, I never saw ticket deals for the summer and for Christmas. Now we're going to talk about this. And what's up, Moist Breadcrumb? I see Moist Breadcrumb's in here. The patron saint of Zort. How you doing, Moist Breadcrumb? And Nagranol came in here. What's up, Nagranol? So we're going to talk, like, I had 3 stories planned to talk about and then one little other thing. So obviously this ticket deal, Florida resident, I don't think it's not bad price. That's all I'm going to say. If I was a Florida resident, though, at that price for $200 something dollars for 4 days, I'd probably just pick up a Pixie Pass for the $500 or $400 and like deal with the days I can't go. But that's just my mental thought process. I don't like wasting money, and I feel like this might be a bit of a waste. All right, so the other thing I want to talk about is Disney announced a $60 billion expansion plan over the next 10 years. Right? 60 billion, doubling their previous spending for cruise ships, for theme parks, attractions, hotels. This is not for the media division. This is for parks and entertainment and for cruise line. $60 billion. Where they're getting that money, I don't know. I don't. But they announced $60 billion. Disney once represented in family and tradition. Can't have that stuff in the U.S. no more. There's another thing I want to bring up. I'll bring that up in a little bit, but all right. Smoking Thrills, you're probably right. There won't be any IP based. There won't be any non-IP based attractions. I'm 50-50 whether IP based attractions are bad or not, because technically some of the things that we didn't think were IP, like Pirates of the Caribbean, you're kind of taking from concepts from things and everything like that. I don't know. I would rather go back to the sponsored rides and have like Enterprise or I don't know, Progressive or some company come in and do a sponsored ride like Delta Airlines did for Spirit of Flight and stuff like that. Like But 60 billion is a lot of money. That is definitely a lot of money. I think the expansion for Galaxy's Edge cost. Let's see. I put to build. All right, so Galaxy's Edge only cost 1 billion supposedly, and that was for Anaheim. Exact cost for the rides, but estimates have ranged from 200 million to 450 million for each version of the rides for Rise of the Resistance alone. So let's say a billion or two. And what's up, Dengar? Sorry, I didn't see you there. How you doing, Dengar Renegade? Oh, I agree with that. I think original ideas are people fell in love with original things. People fell in love with Carousel Progress. People fell in love with Country Bears. People fell in love with the Tiki Birds. DCA 2.1 billion. Okay. So yeah, just alone on the one ride speculation was for. I'm just looking at the cost for Rise of the Resistance alone was 200 to 450 million for a ride. So Galaxy's Edge 2.1 billion. So they're expecting to spend 60 billion. I know the cruise ships are expensive. Those are at least one to. I think the cruise ships are. Let's see how much the Disney Wish costs. So I think that was the most recent cruise ship that came out. So the Disney Wish, which is their newest cruise ship, cost about 1 billion. So let's just say each project. And how you doing, Doug 209? I see you in there. What's up, Tom? Hello. All right. So let's say each project they're going to come up with is at least $1 billion, right? Just to make things easy math and simple things for us. So we're looking at about 60 projects that they're planning to do. And they also mentioned 1,000 acres. The only place they have that is Orlando. They don't have any space in Disneyland. They don't have 1,000 acres to build there. I don't think they have 1,000 acres in Tokyo or Paris. Maybe Shanghai. I'm not 100% sure. And I don't think Hong Kong either. So that 1,000 acres they're talking about an expansion or whatever is in Florida, which is interesting because they're in governmental tassels right now with the Tourist District Board. Reedy Creek sounded better. Whatever. So we're looking at about 60 projects. Let's make this a real estimate. Probably more like 45 projects. My guess, a lot of those will be hotels. We're gonna get maybe 3 more cruise ships because they make a lot of money on the cruise ships. They get a better return on profit from the cruise ships, return on guest spending and stuff like that. So we're probably going to get a lot more cruises. And to be honest, cruise line is where I'm hearing most people actually have the most amount of Disney feel still. I don't know how the 1,000 acres would be worldwide though. Because if you break that down worldwide, Disneyland, I don't think Disneyland has much space at all left. Unless they're counting the neighborhood expansion thing, the Disneyland Forward. So right now, Disney World versus Disneyland in size. So just like looking at the difference between Disney World and Disneyland size comparison. So yeah, Disney World's 43 square miles. Actually now it's larger. It covers 47 square miles. So they actually got more land. It's not giving me the actual size of Disneyland. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's land they can purchase over in. All right, so what's up, Nikki? Nikki. I was gonna talk about this, and I'll talk about this now. Double the theme park footprint. Wow, they need. All right, that makes sense. They need that over there. I do think that. Uh, so basically, what Moana was doing, if you've not been to Epcot and you've not a person that goes to Epcot a lot or have been there before, there was a Fountain of Nations in in the center of Epcot. It was one of their marquee features. It was a big fountain, and the nations of the nations of the World Showcase came and poured their water into the fountain. It was an all special thing that happened when the park opened, and it was a nice photo op. The janitors played around there and stuff like that. Now, all that water for that fountain that they took down had to go somewhere. They had the piping, they had everything going on. Now, basically, that water is now Moana. Like all that pipe work, they moved. They moved all the piping over to be Moana. Like that's what they did. So it's basically replacing the fountain that already existed. And since Nikki brought it up, I can actually show there's some videos online from cast member previews that have been going on for a while right now. And it's dumb. It's a kid splash zone. But if you want to see what it looks like, basically, I feel like this could have been a Star Wars thing just as easily as Moana, because you're basically using like the Force. I'm gonna turn the sound off. I don't know if there's music, but they're using IR sensors to basically, I'm assuming they're using infrared sensors, and you move your hand up and down. You know what's going to happen. No shade. And no shade. I'm gonna say this: Disney has more shade than Universal. I'm gonna say it. Like there are parts of Universal that there's no respite from the sun. All of them, all the theme parks don't have enough shade. But so I just want to know who the first person going to try and drink from this. Like I'm just saying, like some kid's going to try and drink from this. Like, and it's a splash zone. It's a splash zone. They have splash zones in Magic Kingdom, back by Dumbo. I just feel like, yeah, Universal Studios, yeah, because they don't want to worry about the trees during a storm. I think that's the main reason. Yeah, after I've been to Busch Gardens, yeah, I can agree with that. Busch Gardens is hot. I don't know. Like I feel like walking through this to get some like coolness is like is this cheaper than running AC? Because the building that was there before had air conditioning. So something tells me this is like cheaper or more green than AC. But yeah, new attraction. Hey, I'm not gonna say anything. Universal also came up with a standing attraction with the Minions Blast thing, which I still haven't gone back on. I did it once. Maybe I did it twice. It's not worth it. This at least you're gonna. This is not exactly where Club Cool was. This is on the back side of where Interventions, I guess West, but it's kind of near Club Cool. Club Cool was more inwards. This is more towards the outside of where Interventions West was. If I'm thinking about it the right way, make me think back in the day. But yeah, this is what you're gonna spend $100 to go play around with water. And here's the thing: if there was an attraction to this, that's an interesting question. So here's the thing. I don't think people realize how much, like, this is definitely a downfall. Like, Disney's downfall. Like, Disney's trending downwards, everything like that. Yeah, they missed a lot of opportunities with Moana. I'm glad Moana's not going into Animal Kingdom, but what? I'm gonna say this again. Not everything has to be a princess. Okay? You're making a Moana themed land, and there's no Maui. Now, I know The Rock's in hot water right now, but when they announced it, he wasn't. Yeah, I don't see how a fourth theme park could work down here. Like, Legoland is a different thing. It's cheap. It's not that much, but I don't see how anyone can compete with Busch Gardens, SeaWorld, Universal, and Disney in here. Now, the $60 billion number, I want to go back to that quickly, since I can only watch water go up and down so many times before I get sick of it. So this is a simple thing. So it's 60 billion for 10 years. I'm going to say something, and I tweeted this out earlier. Disney, don't build another gate. I'm going to say why. And I've thought about this for years. And I thought about it once after they opened Animal Kingdom too. Now, I'm thinking about my personal family history and everything like that, but we did about a 6-day trip, or 5 or 6 day trip. And I think that was like the length of trip that worked for us, right? And when there was 3 parks, when it was just MGM, Epcot, and Disney, you had a day for the pool, you had a day to do downtown Disney, or at that time Disney Village Market, or whatever thing in the 90s it was called. And then 96 came, they opened up Animal Kingdom, and you had your 4th park. So it's like, all right, we still have 1 free day for the pool and stuff like that. And then, as you notice, they opened up the parks. The water parks suffered because people only have so many days for their trips, right? And then Universal's there for you to go to, and stuff like that. So Disney needs to know that you can't do 5 gates. They're going to eat into each other. Now, what I would say, and I tweeted this out, and I fully believe this, if I was in charge of Disney right now, if I was an Imagineer, if I was in planning, if I was to be in charge of Disney right now, and if I was to make a 5th gate, I said this, and I agree with this. This 5th gate should not be meant for everyone. If you want a 5th gate, it should be the most broken park you can make it. And hear me out here. What I mean by broken, I just make it all e-tickets, everything an e-ticket attraction. You know why? And I will simply tell you why. First of all, this park should be the park that, like, the little kids don't want to go to. This park should be the park that the older people don't want to go to. This park should be based around the idea that you want those dual income adults in there. Give me the fastest roller coaster you can throw out. Give me the most inversions. Give me rival Islands of Adventure. If Disney was smart right now, and Disney was looking at what's going on and looking at their park makeup and looking about how to spread people out, I would make a park that is just top tier. There's no B attractions. There's no C attractions. There's no D attractions. I would make a park that would just make people like empty out the other parks a bit. Because guess what? How many people go to the park and be like, all right, I'm going to ride Guardians and leave? Because it's there. I know it's too much thrills. I know I'm asking for too much thrills, but think about crowd dynamics and think about people's perceptions. Could you imagine Disney? And I can't imagine this Disney, to be completely honest, doing this. But I could imagine Eisner Disney doing this. With the IP they now have, with Die Hard, with Aliens, with Predator, you could make a thrill park around some iconic properties that's geared towards nostalgia and millennials at the same time, and bring in people that don't like Disney stuff. And I would actually just call it 20th Century Studios. I would make a 20th Century Studios park. That would be my idea. I would bring in, I would do like, I don't know, man. Like I always thought about the idea, now that Disney owns Die Hard, of doing an overlay on Tower of Terror every once in a while during Christmas, where Hans Gruber falls with you. Like that would be amazing. You're on Tower of Terror and there's a Hans Gruber falling down on the outside of the thing. I'm sorry. That might be a little bit rough for people, but come on. You could give me an Alien vs Predator attraction. You could I don't control Zort's account on X, by the way. I don't know who does. It's not me. I don't know who controls Zort. Zort's his own thing on X. I'm just saying. The beam pad. First of all, no. I'm not flooding it for 100 years. I want it to be fixed while I'm still alive. That's the first thing. Like I'm not much for the whole burn it all down type of deal. Zort might be. Zort's for burning it all down. He definitely is. But here's the thing, and the reason why I brought up the Wall Street Journal. They announced a $60 billion investment and their stock went down. Right? They announced an investment in the park, the stock went down. They announce things and the stock just goes down. There is nothing they've announced that had it have an uptick. It's just going down. Now, I also made a comment on X or Twitter about, I know what would make the stock go up. And anyone in this chat knows what would make the stock go up. It's a simple thing. They have like 4 things they need to say. Like simple words and a couple of things they have to do. Now, this will get me like not in good whatever. I don't care. I don't care. This is being honest here. We're talking. So four things they have to do. 4 things Disney as a company needs to do to save face, and these will never happen. At least not in the way I say. First is an apology. That's it. An apology. They need an apology to the American family. That's the first thing. I don't care about Kathleen Kennedy. I don't care about any of that stuff. The first thing is an apology to families. That's the first thing. They need that "we have failed you" statement. Because over the past couple of years, entertainment wise, now I saw some people have liked some of the things that come out, and that's fine. But it's more about the parks. These parks have become less about families and more about, I hate to say it, people like me, influencers going in there and getting a popcorn bucket and take a picture of it. That is not how a theme park should be. And I will say it I'll say it myself. I'm trying to limit how much I'm going to the parks just because I think the park should be for families. Do I go in there? Yes. I try to make it minimal amount of time in there. I don't want to be in people's way. I try to be not intrusive. Most of the people I know that do this stuff also try not to be intrusive. Try to take up the least amount of time possible for people there. But yeah, Disney brought this on themselves. They made an entire group of people that go there just to show for them for the most part. But Zord is my kid. Yeah. I understand you don't care about a statement, but I think the statement needs to be followed by actions. And I think that here's the thing that Walt knew, and Michael Eisner knew, and they both knew this. Walt was brilliant. Walt Disney, in my view, is the most brilliant American company holder there was, and he knew and he followed what great people do. He talked directly to his audience. He knew how to connect with people. And Michael Eisner did some of those same things. The Wonderful World of Disney, those Fridays and stuff like that, when they would come on, whether it be Walt back with the Wonderful World of Color talking about the Florida Project and going over the rides for Disneyland, or Eisner talking to you before a movie comes on. They knew instinctually they had to connect. They had to be of and part of the people that were coming. Iger isn't that. Like, I hate to, like, Iger isn't. Chapek isn't. Josh D'Amaro isn't. Jeff Vale. None of these people are that. None of these people have that. Now, were there people in the company that could have done that? Yeah, there were. Joe Rohde, I think, a brilliant Imagineer. Don't know if I agree with his politics. Brilliant Imagineer and cared about everything he made. And I'll say this: Disney's downfall was as soon as John Lasseter was out of the company, not connected. That was Disney's downfall. That was a triggering moment inside the company that changed the corporate culture of the company. And John Lasseter would have been the only person I would have picked to run the company when he was the head of Pixar. Wonderful Disney core memory unlocked. Whoa. Yeah, that's the thing. And I think that's what's missing is the connection to us. And I think they're relying on people that vlog to be people's connection to these parks. And that's not right. Like FDR as a president doing his fireside chats, talking to the nation. You're in this moment now where communication is the most it's ever been. And Iger's hiding. Kathleen Kennedy's hiding. These people are hiding. And you have an audience that can see more information, that can find alternate sources. It's a simple thing right now. And here's what's happened. And it's simple things. Galaxy's Edge could have been amazing. Galaxy's Edge could have been amazing if not for ego. And if not for listening to fans. Those people working on Galaxy's Edge that wanted to do Tatooine, that wanted to do Hoth, that wanted to do everything. I don't even know who could come in now, though. I don't want Apple to buy it. I'm sorry. Apple's not. I mean, Apple TV has some good content on it, but Apple as a company, I never liked. I never liked their concept behind their devices. Disney is about making money. I missed my trips in 2016, 17. They don't even compare to my last visit in 2020. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I know that Abigail is freaking crazy. I'm not. And ego has hurt worse than wokeness. I believe that too. Like, here's the simple thing, and I think now I know some people just want to see it burn and all that stuff, and I want to make my position on this. I don't think anyone in Disney, well, there are some employees I think in Disney that are fine, that aren't. I think some Imagineers are fine and stuff like that. I think there's not everyone that's in this ideology. Too many people in the company for everyone to be that way. But I think the first thing to do is you go back and fire, or sorry, but you fire some of the people that you have now and go find those 23,000 that you laid off that were doing what was magical. Because obviously that's part of the reason you lost some major talent, and Universal scooped it up. I will accept that position. Zort can be my chief of staff. I will accept that. See, Sam, that's the thing. I don't think anything that has a legacy that you don't want to see something die. I'm not someone that's a black pill person. I will say this, Dengar. Everyone says that, but look how quickly people forgave football and basketball and stuff like that. Like I'm just saying that memories are short if someone cares about it enough. Because sports went woke for a while, and then all of a sudden everyone's like, "Hey, football's back! Football's back!" I'm just saying. That's my thing. Like all of those companies, like they all did the same things a little bit, and then oh yay, Bears versus Steelers. Oh yeah. I just feel like there's some people like to hate Disney. That's a thing too. A lot of people before they went woke like to hate Disney. There was something that was seen weird from people going there. I know that, being a Disney person my entire life. You were always looked on a little weirdly. Fine, really. They've mostly there being yes and knowledge staff kicked out or left. Yeah, well, duh. It's the George Lucas effect with Lucasfilm. Shutting down Disney World in Florida is like shutting down Disney Silicon Valley County. You need to keep it open while fixing it. Yeah, way too many people are employed in Walt Disney World to have it shut down. It's way too many people. I think the Goofy movie episode of Atlanta is actually an amazing satirization of the downfall of Disney. Oh, the possum. Oh my god. You're right. You're right. I witnessed the beginning and the end in my area at Disney. That is sad to be in bad. That is sad. I I don't know if there's a difference, because you had the companies bending the knee for a while and then they just stop. So I just find it interesting that it's easier to forgive something if you like it more. That's the simple thing. It's easier to forgive. Maybe sports are more important to people, and that's fine. But it's just an interesting thing for me. I don't give a rat's ass about sports, and I cursed on my channel. Hey, but I don't. It's I played them. I never watched them. Couldn't care. I like playing sports. I don't watch sports. I find it boring. I do. But my point is that you're always going to have a bias. You're always going to someone's going to have a bias about something. So sports became something that was easier for people to forgive because it was more important part of their life. The goofy by the door. I'm gonna say this: Disney Plus was a dumb move on their part. They would have making more money licensing out. The deal they made with Spectrum made me get rid of Spectrum. So I got rid of Spectrum because my service went up $30 because of the Disney Plus stuff. That deal they made with Spectrum Charter. So I got rid of Spectrum. I'm on AT&T now. Hopefully the stream's going better because I now have a gigabit up. So that should be helpful. But you also find it boring. Yeah. See, smoking thrills. See what I mean? I'm just saying that not all things that we enjoy are treated the same by everyone, right? And that's the way it is. We all have personal biases. I have a bias for Disney because I've been going there almost my entire existence. So I have a bias for the theme parks. Not as much the movies. Like I watched the movies, but what informed me and what was keystone things were the theme parks. So I will always fight for them in some way because that's where I have a lot of memories. And I think sports are the same way for people. So that's why I don't mind people having bias. I haven't even bothered. I haven't even bothered. When the star of the movie, Halle Bailey, distances herself right away after the film comes out, you know you got problems. She started putting thirst traps out on her Instagram right away. So if that's the case, if that's what Disney wants to foster, some lady just to boost her name a little bit to go and then put Instagram thought photos up. What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, what are you doing, Disney? What are you doing? That's all I'm asking. Like, what are you doing? We have you own so much. You own so much. You have so much IP. You have so much stories that you can tell. And you just do things because you don't want to pay people. You make a remake of something just because you don't want. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. The beam pad. That's a very good way to put it. I think so. Sonic did a good job, and Detective Pikachu did a good job. You know why? They weren't realistic. When you make them look like a Detective Pikachu did. No. No. The only way I would ever buy that is if Song of the South was included. It's if they had the cojones to put Song of the South inside of that 100th anniversary box collection, then maybe I would think about it. But no, that's a new computer. I spending that. I can watch all in Disney Plus. I can watch everything that they have on there in Disney Plus pretty much. I am gonna go get the Darkwing Duck plushie though, because I missed that one. Tom, can you do a new thought on Disney? Oh, sure. Sorry, Sam. Yeah. So Disney as a company historically has not been the best at paying their animators or paying people for their property. Let's be honest, Disney. I'm saying Disney, not Pixar. Pixar does a good job of creating their own unique stories. So Pixar is a separate thing, and they weren't owned by Disney until recently. So, but Disney Animation, Disney stories in general, they adapt stories. They search out, they buy, they don't create much. They just take things and like, oh, we're gonna add a little bit of a talking animal here. We're gonna add a little bit of a thing here. Think about everything from the Disney Renaissance, right? Think about everything from the Disney Renaissance. Little Mermaid, Hans Christian Andersen, adapted story. Beauty and the Beast, adapted story. Lion King, adapted story. Aladdin, adapted story. Sleeping Beauty, adapted story. Black Cauldron, adapted story. You know what I mean? Like they're all adapted stories. Even Mary Poppins is a story that he went out to search to buy and get the rights to have it go out. Everything they've done has been some like different version. I think even Bambi, I think, is an adapted story. It's a book by Felix Stanton. So that book came out. I think there's a Bambi book. I think there's a book in 1929 before it came out. Yeah, so the Bambi came out as a book way back when. It was written in 1923. So the movie didn't come out for a while later. So there were Grimm's fairy tales. There were basically anything public domain. Disney just took stuff that was public domain that was old enough for them to use and make stories from. It's Kimba the White Lion and also a little bit of Hamlet, but yeah, they take things. The Black Cauldron could be original. I had like the Black Cauldron is the only one that I'm not sure about, just because of the time frame of it. But I think the Black Cauldron. Let me just double check. The Black Cauldron. Now I'm not sure. It was a book series, The Chronicles of Peridon, a novel series. But when did it first come out? Published between 1964 and 1968. So that is where the Black Cauldron comes from, by Lloyd Alexander. So the animation, I think, came out 1985. So the book came out 20 years earlier in 1965. So yeah, that was an adaptation. Published between 64 and 68, and the adaptation came out in 85. So yeah, most of what we're seeing is adaptations. So all right. Hey Sarah, we're doing okay. I don't know how to. So my AC kicked off, and now everything's overheating, and I don't know why my AC kicked off. Sorry, that's a comment I didn't need to make to myself, but I did. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. Now I'm still going to the beach. Yes, Pixar did come in with the original content. Um, And yeah, Pixar did come in with the original content. So just to also explain, I'm not having a good day. And the reason why is that I'm a guest on myself right now. And the reason is, and I will show you in a second. Um, I've been saving up for a new computer, and I'm thinking that's going to have to happen sooner than I expected because this happened. um, my screen died. So I'm going to continue on. I have my StreamYards open on my phone so I can end the stream, but you guys can still see me and hear me, so that's fine. I'm going to remove. I can get rid of myself. All right. I feel like I'm copying Jay a little bit. So I have no clue why everything else is working, but we'll keep going. I just can't bring up any articles, but I can probably hide the current. There we go. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So this is fine. I'm okay. I'll just have to get a monitor later, and I'm keeping an eye on the chat. So good thing I was only gonna go for an hour or so. So this isn't that bad. And what's up, Dawn? So I kind of wanted to touch base on some things, and this is about all theme parks. And I kind of touch bases on this a little bit during SOS. It's not just Disney that's going around, down in quality a little bit. I think they all are, and I think this is the sign of the times, and this is a sign. So I know Sarah's looking to come at some point in August or something like that, and planning her trips and everything. You're gonna get deals, but service is down. Like and this is across the board. I've noticed team members, ambassadors at SeaWorld, cast members at Disney, and I think this is just a work ethic thing between generations. More than anything, I'm seeing so many people. Oh, what? Doug B. $100, dude. Thank you, Doug B. A Hyundai computer fund, bet a PC if you can. Of course, I'll use discount code one of them, Geeks and Gamers, or 199. Thank you, Doug. Hyundai, yes. Thank you. And what's up, Westy? I see you came in. Thank you for that, man. Look, I have always tried to be honest, and that's basically my whole thing. And I know I'm a little bit of Disney bias in terms of some things, but I will tell you how it is. You're gonna get deals. Disney is desperate, and I think Universal is seeing, like, except for Saturday, Halloween Horror Nights has been kind of a little bit slower than last year. Howl-O-Scream was not as good as last year. The food portions have gone down a lot, thank you to Biden inflation. Well, not when I bought this one, Smoking Thrills. When I bought this Alienware, it was Alienware. Thank you, man. Of course. Oh, Sarah, you didn't have to. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much. Luckily, most of my stuff I do outside of the home. Like, this is. I'm going to keep it on while I finish the stream up. But thank you guys. That's very generous of both of you. Thank you. I want you all to be able to come down here and have fun and like, I honestly, I want to meet anyone here. Like, I loved running into Dawn when she was in the parks. I loved meeting Shadow Dragon. This is something that, like, theme parks are a great place to meet people and have fun, and it's a way to, like, sort of make friends. I mean, obviously, I've made Jay as a friend through theme parks and a bunch of other people. And yes, do I want to go to other theme parks? I have plans. Yeah, yes, I have. It's pretty close to me. I see rocket where I am. I'm just gonna say I'm in the Cocoa Beach area, but where I am, I see rocket launches regularly. They shake my house. I'm sorry, Smoking Thrills. I'm sorry, but I will do a video. Their live streaming there is not really like something they like you doing, but I will do a video from there. I know Rolo and Joe want to come over for a launch one day, so if that's the case, I'll wait for them to come over. Yeah, I'm within a couple of miles of the space of the launch area. It shakes my windows in my house, especially for the Falcon Heavies or any of the bigger ones, non-satellite ones. That yeah. I've gotten to the point where I sleep through them now, but yeah. I'm gonna try. So I this coming year, the 2024 is a year that I want to be able to travel to the places that some of some of the smaller parks. I do want to get to Dollywood. I do want to get to Silver Dollar City. I do want to get to all those. So that is my goal for the coming year. I want to be able to go and show you guys and take Zort to some different places. Big one's Tokyo. I want to do that this year. That's a big one for next year is Tokyo. I know I won't be able to live stream, but I do want to make some content there for you guys and take you all around, so to speak. And yeah, mainly because my dog hasn't gotten used to them. Rogue does not like them. I sleep through them. But yeah, I sleep through things. I was the kid during college when there was fire drills that slept through them, like completely. Just like if there was ever someone that would probably accidentally perish during a fire, it'd be me. I don't know why. It would be. And $4.99 from Nagnall. That is awesome. Thank you. I will definitely know. I have family in Georgia, so Georgia is definitely somewhere I am going to try and come up to. I know the Six Flags there is awesome, so I'm definitely want to try and get up there. Plus, I love Helen. Helen, Georgia is beautiful. We got Orange Grove 55 in here. Hey, man, friend of the channel. Another awesome West Coast. Like, Orange Grove 55 is my place I go to. I watch their premieres. I sit and I lurk sometimes because I don't want to, like, talk too much, but I put them on in the background. They got some great conversation. Wall Street wants cuts, not tripling down on parks. Sucks for fans, but Wall Street not on the same page as fans. I'm gonna say this: the Starship is loud. I'm gonna say this. So about the spending, and this will be my. We'll get up to an hour. Thank you again for the $4.99 ag roll. I think I said that, but thank you again. Simple thing about the spending, about Disney right now and everything like that. I kind of want to just say some simple things. It's not the amount of money that you're spending. Saying $60 billion doesn't matter. It probably scares investors right now because you're losing profit. You need to make statements that are encourage people to come back to the parks and come back to your content. I actually am not hating Ahsoka. Like, it is not something that I like. I'm there's parts I don't like, but there are parts I enjoy. Guess what? That's okay. I don't think people realize how much like mediocre television existed before. Like, we had some awesome TV coming up to this decade. We had, Breaking Bad, we had Sons of Anarchy, we had West Wing, we had Boston Legal. I don't know, whatever shows you wanted to watch. Game of Thrones for a good couple of seasons, Arrow for a good couple of seasons. We had good shows. There was a lot of mediocre television before. Like, I feel like growing pains are allowed. I feel like it's odd that Disney doesn't know how to do adult TV. I know it's odd because they can do kids TV, but it's also odd that they're not doing enough kids TV on Disney Plus because they know how to do that. like I this is just me being, a disgruntled stockholder for a second. Because I know my stocks are now worth a lot less, and I should have sold them after Endgame. Like every other stock person should have sold them after Endgame when they were the highest. I'm just gonna cry myself to sleep now. But I think that people will eventually come back to Disney when Disney starts doing what Disney did. There was a difference in their parks. There was a difference in their entertainment. You knew that you could let your kid watch something on Disney in the 90s. Now, will there be something to scare them a little bit? Yeah. But guess what? That's good kids' entertainment. You want them to be scared. Like, there's got to be a little bit of a life lesson. And it's got to be one that sticks with you. It's got to be one that matters. There's no lessons in these right now. All of this stuff is preaching without the actual lesson. And Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul is Better Call Saul. Yeah, I agree. Ahsoka is not real Star Wars, but I can't like not say that. You know what? Seeing Hayden get to be that version of Anakin is kind of cool. But it's also like he's that version of Anakin, but then you see Anakin in Revenge of the Sith. You're like, well, this Anakin's different than Revenge of the Sith. Adam the Woo. Adam the Woo is Adam the Woo saw this coming. Adam the Woo has done non-Disney content for a while. And this is something I wanted to say. You can look at some Disney content creators that used to have Disney in their name and they don't anymore. A lot of them are taking it out. I don't know if I started the trend, but there are a lot of Disney content creators that are not related to the college program that have been taking the Disney out of their names. And it's not for marketing. It's just because they know that Disney right now is a tainted name. And there is the phrase, if you watch National Treasure, right? The National Treasure movie, they tell the story about his name is Mud, right? And it was the doctor, Abraham Lincoln, everything like that. It's hard to recover a name. And they don't have long to do that. Right now, they are on like a 3-year decline. And each little thing against them is making that name more brittle. And it was a name that meant something for so long. It's a 100-year-old company, right? And they've had 97 years, 96 years, 95 years, whatever you want to say, of being a strong name, of being a name. When I was a kid, when I was younger in elementary school, I used to say I own Disney. Now, again, kid, elementary school. But when my parents bought DVC, my little 5-year-old brain understood that as I owned Disney. And I got called into the principal for lying because I said I own Disney, right? And my dad had to come in. And that was like the one thing my dad was like, wait a minute, I'm called down here because he said he owned Disney. And he's like, well, we do, kind of. And there's like the principal's reaction to that was something I remember now because he's just like, whoa. Like, oh, okay. There was something about being a kid in the 90s and getting that Disney vacation that was like a rite of passage or like something. You know what I mean? Like, there were friends that went there and there were friends that didn't. And I don't know if Universal has that same pull right now with the younger generation. I don't know if Universal has that same joie de vivre about it that Disney did in the 90s. It's hard to say that that was the beginning of Tom Sorry. Pretty much. I apologized a lot as a kid. I did small things bad, not big things bad. I did small bad things, not big. But I don't know. Like I my brother has two kids, my two nephews that come down here. I love taking them down here. I love taking them to Disney. They're a little too young for Universal yet. I will take them there too, though. It's just they're not up to those. Like they just started doing some big kid rides this year. Last trip they came down, and I asked them like, do your friends? They go, oh, I'm going to Universal, and they're like, no, they don't really care where they go. And I think it's more of a parental thing. I think there's still a parental thing of like, I can afford to take my kids to Disney, if that makes sense. Like, there's something about that is more of like a status thing than Universal. Even though Universal trips can be the same, I do think so. I do think Epic Universe, especially with Nintendo World, that's a subjective question, Sarah. But we can take a deep dive in that for a second. This is like I talked about what I want to talk about, and then this is just like helping out right now. I would say my nephew. I don't want to say names, so one of my nephews, the youngest one, he's a little bit immature, and I blame the pandemic for that. So like he's like a little bit emotionally stunted. So those were like he would have been bad, but he's like a 2-year difference between the older nephew. The older nephew would have been fine. He's like 9. I think 7, 8, 9, depending on height and emotional maturity of the kid, I think Universal could be fine. But it depends on how much you want to do. Because like for a 6-year-old, a 5-year-old, if their height's lower, there's not that many dark rides at Universal. There's not many like that many for them. You have, yeah, and like I would say 5 and 6, depending on height, is an age you may have to worry about. Hot take: I'm most hyped for classic Monsters Land. I'll die in the Soul. That's one of the ones I'm most interested about. I do think they're missing an opportunity, and it's a golden opportunity. They should have brought back Jaws or Back to the Future. They should have brought back a classic attraction. And I'm going to say this. I know Universal listens sometimes when I'm there. I'm going to say this every single time. Take the Spider-Man ride mechanism and make a new version of Back to the Future with that ride vehicle. Okay? That's it. Just do that. I think honestly the height is one thing, but I think yes, Spider-Man style ride with Back to the Future. Do that. I would say like the emotional maturity is more so what it thinks about, and also believability. Like all right, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I was that kid that believed everything when I was like real young, 5, 6. Like I believed everything. Like I thought everything in the park was real. I did. I was that kid. If your kid's that kid, some stuff might be hard to get them on. I'm just gonna say it now. Disney did something brilliant with their recent rides, with like Rock and Roller Coaster and Guardians and stuff like that. They're all inside, so the kid can't see the ride. Right? There's nothing to scare the kid. If you walk the Hulk or a Velocicoaster, you see that. You hear the screams. So just an FYI. Back to the Future like Test Track. Yeah, I'm talking about more about maturity. Yes. Say it. What am I saying? What am I saying? Say what? All the kids should feel that way. That's true. If you're the magic of theme parks when I was a kid was believing the things were real. And there's also something about that hype and tension of that ride. And when you finally get over that fear. So that's something about parks as you get older and you ride everything, you no longer have that. It changes how you do it to a theme park. But when you're younger and you have a little bit of that fear, you're like the tension builds up as you're going through a queue. The ride that really did that for me when I was really young was Tower of Terror. Tower of Terror, that build up, walking down the street, you see it in the distance, you hear the screams out the window, you don't know what's going on. You're walking up, you're going through the fog, you're going through this decay. And as a kid, I knew Twilight Zone, but I didn't know what the tower I didn't know any of that stuff. Ride opened, I was really young, and now we went on when it opened, right? And I think I was like maybe 6, and it opened 94, I want to say. Tower opened up. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was 94. And we went on, and a piece of concrete for the ride fell off while we were on it. The ride shut down for the rest of the day. And that, I did not ride the ride next year because I'm like, wait a minute, this can break. Something can happen. Like, that was how I was as a kid. So I just kind of want you guys to understand that the younger your kid is, the more it's important to bring them there to the parks. As the kids get older, you can separate the trips out more. But those formative years is what matters. And I said it to my brother. My brother did every other year trips when his kids were younger. And I think that was a bad move. I think like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 7. And this is a personal recommendation. You don't have to do this. I would do yearly trips. My parents, when we were younger and they bought the DVC and they got the free tickets, their free annual passes, we would going 2 to 3 times a year when they got that. And they would take us out of school. We would just go. And that was magical time for our family. Like, and it was just something that was different. All right, wait. For me, Monster Mansion, Six Flags Over Georgia. This day, I hear kids having an existential crisis on the attractions because they don't know what's coming. It gets freaky for kids. Okay. No Other Dark Ride takes a hard left turn into Ultra Grimdark Scary Monsters. I have to try that. That's why children of all ages, or what, or was that Barnum and Bailey Circus? Well, Disney wanted a park that everyone could enjoy, and I still believe that's a park everyone can enjoy now. So I went a little bit longer than I expected, but I got a little nostalgic and all that stuff. I want to thank you all for hanging out. I want to thank Doug B for helping for the PC fund. That is, I may change the StreamYards thing to help my computer's dying. But I hope you guys all hang out at 5:30. I might move it back to 6 just to give a little bit more time. But I'm gonna head over to the beach because I haven't been there in a while, and you guys might want to get some waves and have a little break in the middle of the week. There'll be 2 parks. How is my spine? There's a 3-inch hole in my back. To answer people, I'm not fully healed yet. There's a nasty looking 3-inch hole in my back, which hurts. Right where Zort's sitting right now, and so let's just say it's not fun, but it's healing. It's healing. Like, that is. I was not expecting that, and that took that. Like, at least the venom's out of me, and it's just that the venom was part of the reason why it's taking a hard time to heal. I would say maybe another week or 2, and it'll be closed up. It's getting smaller as the weeks go on, or days go on, but I was not expecting that. So thank you guys. Recluse, no, it was a golden orb weaver spider, not super deadly, but I guess my body didn't have a good reaction to this bite. It's a Florida native spider. It's a weird looking spider. At least that's what the doctors told me after they did the blood work and to cry. They put me on a generic antivenom, and then they put me on a different. No, I don't think there's any eggs. They did a good job of cleaning stuff and all that. Don't mean to get all gross and stuff like that with you guys. And I will. I'm obviously I'm not that bad. It's just that it's annoying sometimes, which is why I've been not at the parks as much and not riding rides really right now, because I don't want to have like a weird bump on my back. And all right, Spoken Truth. I will try and get up to. Was it a Disney spider? No. It was. I was doing yard work and I was getting avocados off my avocado tree, and I didn't notice the web. I have like about 150 avocados, so I'm gonna make some ice cream with it. I found you can make avocado ice cream, so I guess that'll be keto at least. But I'm gonna get back into swings. Like we're gonna do like 2 park days this week, and we'll get back to doing 3. Slowly build it up. I'm just trying not to push things too hard. And thank you, everyone. I'm trying to get well as quickly as I can. It's just hard. Like I'm okay. You know, some people are back sleepers, some people are side sleepers, some people are. I'm a left side sleeper, and I can't sleep on the left side. I have not slept like in a couple of days because I just can't fall asleep. Part of the reason why I've been playing games with Jeremy till late. So I will say thank you all for hanging out. Thank you again for Doug B. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Nagnall. I really appreciate it. You guys didn't have to do that. And I will most likely possibly be at the park Friday. Maybe tomorrow or Thursday. But I definitely want to get back out doing the parks. And specifically, I want you guys... I'm going to put some more community posts up. I want stuff like that. I want to try and explore some more outside of the parks. So there's some interesting food places that have popped up in the Orlando area that I've been kept asking by other people to go look at. And some of them should be cool and fun. So we might do that. There's a world food truck place in Orlando that I really want to check out. So we might do some more off the beaten path things soon besides the theme parks. So look forward to that too. Probably a Halloween Horror Nights or Howl-O-Scream this weekend. One of them, maybe I'll give Howl-O-Scream a second chance now that Rollo and Joe have the pass too. I think Beardo does. So I want to make sure that the Alcon will hang out too. But I'm going to end this here. I'm going to get ready. Got to do some more work actually. And then I'll head over to the beach and we'll have a little fun at the beach. Get you guys the northern people, the people with winter, some... I had pizza the last time I was there. Interesting. I will go and I will investigate. But I had pizza the last time I was there. Go to the beach already? I will be there. I'll be there at 5. Streaming starting at 5:30. All right. Bye, everyone. Yes, 5:30 today. It's already live on the channel. We're just gonna hang out and chill. Little chill stream on the beach. Maybe get a drinky. MegaCon does a good job. But as always, don't be afraid to be the fool. Obviously, Zord had to get his last word in. I'll see you guys then. Have a wonderful day. And I still can do my outro. Bye, y'all. Thank you for watching and enjoy.
Curiosity.